It's the rematch inside the JRC Junior Beast action on a Friday night. The Fort Saskatchewan Rebels host the St. Albert Crude for the second time this season. Rebels Lacrosse on 12-ounce sports, brought to you by sportsinteraction.com/rebels. All season long, the best place to bet on sports in Canada. Let's get to your starting goaltenders quickly for the Rebels. A little bit of a surprise. No Eric LeBlanc available for him, so Mitchell Adams will go across the floor, 200 feet down. It's Reese Oliver, the big man. Sports Interaction face-off. Be sure to use sportsinteraction.com/rebels. Refs ready, balls down, and we are underway inside the Jubilee Recreation Center. Late start on a Friday evening, but the crowd seems into it early. We'll get to your scratches and much more as we move along on the broadcast. Cody Jansen with you. You can find me on Twitter at Janner on PXP. Let's get this thing rolling. Rebels on offense first. Peterson was out in front. Backdoor Porter was waiting there, but he cut through the crease. Crude will get their first possession of the game as Joba with the bright purple sneakers controls. The little righty scored the biggest goal of the Crude summer last year in the Shorten North playoff stint. Shot misses. Goaltender Mitchell Adams making his debut this season. Now he'll have to make his first save on Joma. Tries to go low to low, stick side, kicked into the corner and out of play. Fodchuk now drives and looks to go short side. Had a little bit of room there, but Fodchuk couldn't quite sneak it between the leg and the post of Mitchell Adams. Ref wants to bring it back, and they'll run it up from the crease. Couple of faces back in the lineup for Fort Saskatchewan. Fraser Barrett going to be wearing number 24 tonight. Carter Albrecht as well. Expect to see him coming to the D gate for the most part. In transition, Riley Lewis is on the back check as Zaxton Blake thought about going, decides to wait it out. Now he'll hand it off. Adam Horlak holds. The righty with the bouncer up top, and Dahl's going to wheel around. Longmire. Adams now kicks another one for his third stop of the evening. No shots yet for the Rebels. Played a minute 45 inside the JRC. Wide open was Dahl as Fodchuk hit him with a dime. Loose ball ends up on the floor, and the Rebels will control as Grayson Albrecht sends them north. Ethan Peterson right side. Rocking the C still. Not a big fan of the white outline on the C. I think it should be red, but that's just my style choice. As here's Baker, shot got blocked as Nicholas Lopez was guarding him. Stick on hands. Scratches for the Crude in this one. Keenan Kahn's out, Tegan Runyons, Kyle Dzwanka, Brighton Searson, and Jonah Bornick not dressed for the Crude. 13 on the shot clock. Hard pick frees up some space. Cutting out front, Mitchell Adams has to close the wickets. Porter now in transition. Off the bench is Lewis, and the Rebels have not opened up the scoring. Riley Lewis steps in the crease, and the ref waves it off. Joma now has Carter McAdam pushing over to the outside. Blake swings it around. Fodchuk pass intended for Joma. Sky ball. Zayden Blake tried to come down with it. Now he's in the corner on the forecheck. Blake's got 29 points on the season. Hat-trick the last time he was inside the JRC at the start of May. Here's Seth Fairholm to the middle. He'll go low. Reese Oliver's got his first stop of the Friday night in Fort Saskatchewan. Fairholm on the back check. Hauls down his man. They'll say it's a little too aggressive as Blake goes for a spin. Trip will be the call. Crude power play goes to work. Now Peterson's going to take another one on Dahl. Going off. He might have landed a cross check or a slash. I'm sure you saw it on the screen, but my head was turned to the right, so maybe you can tell me what was happening. But Ethan Peterson's going to go off. Unsportsmanlike conduct is what they dig him up for. Another power play coming for the Crude. Crude power play getting their first look. Joma, couple of give and go actions, but Adams hugging that right post stops Orlak. Fodchuk's on the right. Schmerman's down low as well. Fodchuk up for Joma. Beautiful feed, and he scores. Crude open the scoring on the power play. Tarek Joma on the power play. Opens up the scoring for the Crude. Now it's a 5-on-4 after a couple of penalties against the Rebels here early. Schmerman's behind the net. Fodchuk up top, backdoor quick stick. Joma's got two. On the edge of the crease, ref says it's clean, and Tarek Joma back-to-back power play goals. St. Albert's up by a pair. Back to even strength. Face-off win by Fraser Barrett and Fairholm Hines Porter. Schmerman and Fodchuk pick up the assists on the Joma goal. And 5 minutes into period number one, St. Albert has a 2-0 lead. Michael Gillespie's got a back pedal. Albrecht now tries to lay ahead, gets in tight, stick on ball, and here goes Joshua Booth. Good interception, and he'll wait up the floor. McCallion's off the bench, Peterson as well. Ethan Peterson took a penalty earlier. We'll see if he can make up for it. Jackson Kohut up top. Tries to go 1-on-3. The hero ball's not going to work, especially not this early with fresh legs on the floor. That shot gets behind Oliver, but he spins, and with the big Woody is able to clear. McCallion on the back check. Vetch is there, and he lowers the boom. Matthew Vetch a little bit tougher on that shift, forces a turnover, and the Rebels offense gets a look off the right half wall. Tyson Lewis kicks it out. Here's Peterson. Another low shot. Oliver with the save. McCallion's going to have to hustle back. Plays the angle, but he gets knocked off the ball by Slobodnik. Jack Reynolds there as well, playing with his brother Ben for this season. Two Reynolds going to rock Crude purple. Pass intended for Fairholm. He didn't pick it up. Now it's Tyson Lewis. They'll swing it around the horn. Riley Lewis has it out front, cutting down the pipe. Shot goes wide. Jackson Kohut, 10 to shoot, frees up some space, and another shot misses the target. Mitchell Adams now, he misses the ball, and they're just going to have to leave it in the corner. Was going to try throw it down the floor, ended up striking out on it. Cutting right out in front there. Hard cross check on Howling. Longmire now He'll run it up the floor. They'll let the D guys go for it. Here's Fraser Barrett, pushed outside. Carter Albrecht finds Porter. Couple of pump fakes out in front, and Oliver, the big body, takes away the upper part of the net. You can't beat him up high. Tate Wedman out there as well. Thought about going on offense. The Crude sets it up, and they'll let their experts go to work. Schmerman's down playing that bottom lefty position. Pass got deflected. Could be a partial break for the Rebels. Heading up the floor, here's Regan Walker all alone on Oliver, and he scores. Regan Walker has the Rebels on the board with 12:19 to go in period number 1. Regan Walker's got his first goal in the Tier 1 circuit, and he cuts the Crude lead in half. Bryce Schmerman up top, walks into one, and he finds iron. The big man rips one off the post with 12:04 left to go in the opening frame. Fonchuk now. He's getting into it out front. Peterson's there to help. That opens up room for Schmerman. Adams with the save. He didn't quite know where it fell to. A little bit of an ankle breaker there by Vetch. Got around Horlack. Jackson Cohen up top. Has Josh McCallion, 4 goals in his first game of the season last weekend. Sub shot on Oliver. He made the save. They're going to say Fairholm cut through the crease there. Joma far side. Dahl with it, throws over to Fonchuk. Good defense by Booth. Got his stick on it. That's multiple times already in the first 9 minutes of this game that Joshua Booth has had an impact on the defensive side of the floor. Adams squeezes that post again. We don't have shots on the clock in this one. Maybe they'll throw him up at the end of the period, but Mitchell Adams having himself a fine first period of this season. Bennett Frey has to hit the eject button there. He had a couple of defenders on him, but Crude controlling their own end. Zaxton Blake finds Schmerman on the right side. Right down the middle. Adams with the save. Rebound goes in the net. But Schmerman clearly stepped in the crease on that one. Seth Fairholt, left side of the floor, had 6 points. And these teams only meeting earlier this season. Hard pick there. McCallion did have space and a late hit after the whistle. Somehow all 3 refs missed that one as Kohut gets launched. Whistles get stuck for a second, put away there. And St. Albert gets their offensive units on the floor. 15 on the shot clock. Orlack from that left side out in front, trying to go low on Adams again. And Albrecht with the rebound now in transition pass intended for Matthew Vetch. He's got to run back on it, somehow come up with it. Around the blue line marker on the boards has Reynaud all over him. Rebels somehow still with it as Carter McAdam now comes back to save the day. Albrecht has 5. He can let it fly if he wants. Kohut now, 2 to shoot. Again, hero ball doesn't work, going through 3 players. And St. Albert forces a turnover off the bench. Bryce Schmerman now, little swim move. Pushed outside by Booth, and now Booth strips him of the ball. Tyson Lewis in there to clean up the garbage off the ground. But a good defensive effort by Booth. Let's Fort Saskatchewan head back north. 9:03 left to go. It's Cody Jansen with you on 12-ounce Sports, Sports Interaction Rebels Lacrosse. Coming to you live on a Friday night now in transition. Here goes Tristan Crundwell on a break. Crundwell with Adams. 5-hole attempt stopped. Mitchell Adams keeping this a one-goal game for Fort Saskatchewan. He better be getting a couple of extra taps on the pads after this period. Now Porter gets the pick from Kohut. Pass intended for Lewis. And again, the offense just looking a little out of sync here. And if you're the Rebels, I think that means you got to start playing in transition a little bit more, pushing the pace and just running with your chances instead of trying to set it up here, at least in the first period, because the offense sets certainly haven't been working. Aaron pass is going to bounce all the way down to Reese Oliver between the pipes. They do have 7 seconds left. But Oliver throws up the Hail Mary, and it'll be pumped down by Fraser Barrett. Ethan Peterson has it to McCallion now. Low bouncer sticks side, not on net. Seth Fairholm finds McCallion to the middle lane to shoot. Bouncer again on Oliver, but it goes right into the big stick. Couple of slashes as the change ensues, and Joma put him on hat trick watch already. Far side attempt. Adams kicks it to the corner. Fonchuk with the rebound. Booth all over him. Porter back to help. Joma now throws up the alley-oop, and it's going to bounce back to the restraining line. Fonchuk 15 to play with. Plenty of time for this Crude offense. Here's Joma. Little Rube pick and pop. Left side. Blake shot goes wide. Fonchuk again. Peppering Adams early in this game. Lucky. It's 2-1 if you're the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels. Zayden Blake and Mitchell Adams have a meeting of the minds in front of the net. No harm, no foul. No one ended up on the ground. Jackson Baker. High pass. Lewis to McCallion. Wild shot there by Lewis, goes wide. Looks like a penalty's upcoming, though. It was good defense for the Crude on that shift. Will Drader doing some work. Effort all over the floor, and he's been a thorn in the side of some of the Rebels' offense, but it will be a high sticking call coming against Nicholas Lopez. So Fort Saskatchewan's power play. First opportunity of the contest. Kohut's up top. McCallion and Fairholm are on the left-hand side. McCallion did have a bit of room, and now Kohut's going to have to get back and play defense. Dahl's on the left. Down a man, so they'll wheel it around. Zayden Blake now as Kohut breaks his stick on him. Backdoor for Fonchuk, little room towards the net, tries to bounce it past Adams, and now in transition, here goes Michael Gillespie, partial break. Michael Gillespie towards the net, Oliver with the save, and it's bouncing around in the crease, where Jack Raynaud comes back to help. Now Raynaud turns on the wheels, but the swim move, Nathan LaFrance says don't try that inside the JRC tonight. Porter kicks it forward as he's taken to the ground hard. Got called a trip earlier in the game. This time the refs are going to let it fly. Kohut's up top. Fairholm on the left-hand side. Couldn't handle the pass. Loose ball still bouncing around, won't end up in any of the benches. Now Drader gets buried into the boards by Fairholm. 3-on-0 now. Drader all alone, and he scores. Terrible change by the Rebels, and the Crude capitalize. Will Drader does it by himself, finds the back of the net, and a great first period for the youngster. Makes it 3-1 for the Crude. Barrett and Harris go to war on the draw again. Rebels still on the power play for the next 3:30. Porter for Kohut. Wants to let it go. Misses everything, and he sends it down to Mitchell Adams. 12 on the shot clock. Adams runs it up, and when you run it up, you eat a lot of that shot clock. Baker's got to go quick, easy save, and Bennett Fry has it. Fry will wheel it down the left side of the floor. Thought about going one-on-one, but Tyson Lewis says don't try it. Vetch now has Porter back to help. Schmerman's hanging out in his own zone like he wants to play defense. That's not familiar territory for him. 7 that the Crude can still kill. Ball's in the air. Fry has it now, and he'll dump it into the corner wisely. Crude doing work on the penalty kill here, up by 2 with 3:46 to go in the first period. Kohut and McCallion with the give and go. Baker's on the right. Lewis is out there as well. Kohut fires and scores. Took him 3 minutes and 45 seconds on the power play, but Jackson Kohut has cut the lead in half. Peterson gets the Lucy off the draw. Barrett thought about running it up on the left side of the floor. He could have gone in transition if he would have got a pass on that one. Kohut's got it again, still on the power play. Has Porter on his right. McCallion over to Porter. Low shot. Oliver was already down on one knee, and it hit him. Pass intended for Bennett Fry. He was looking around into the lights. Now Mitchell Adams steps into Fry. Kohut. Pass back for Lewis, but he bobbled it. Little urgency, has it with 10 on the shot clock. Wants to tee it up again. Kohut got stopped. Loose balls bounce around, doesn't have help. They got to get a D guy out quick, and it'll be LaFrance chasing down his man as Will Drader. Wanted a second shorty in the game. Mitchell Adams says no. McCallion, the fifth O guy off the bench. Power play still alive for the next 50 seconds here. Rebels with a chance to tie it. 5 on the shot clock. McCallion over to Baker. Reynold takes the free welt. Horlack left side. Albrecht pushes him down. Horlack now walks out in front, far side. Adams might have got a piece of that with his toe. No more, no less, but it stays out. Seth Fairholt. Rebels had numbers, and now here's Peterson down the highway. Off the melon, Reese Oliver. Lopez is out of the box, and we are back to even strength. Crude come out of that shorthanded sequence even as Fraser Barrett now up top gets run over. Nash Knowlton over to Fodchuk. 50 seconds to play in the first period. Vetch pushes him outside. Scoops the loose ball as well, and McAdam grabs it. Double spin move there by McAdam, and here's Vetch. He's got Lewis 2-on-1 if they want. Matthew Vetch. Pass got knocked down. Good stick by Reynolds. The refs blow it down. And with 28 seconds left, the Crude will use their timeout. We'll see what Garen Sherman and crew can draw. But when we come back, it's Cody Jansen with you on 12-Ounce Sports. Fort Saskatchewan Rebels lacrosse on 12-Ounce Sports all season long is brought to you by Sports Interaction, the best place to bet on sports in Canada. Go check them out today, sportsinteraction.com/rebels if you want to support free Junior Beast broadcasts of the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League. Crude will play 6-on-5, 28.7 seconds left to go in the opening frame. They up by 1. Joma with it, he's got 2 goals. Already in the game, Fonchuk's on his right. Schmerman in Gretzky's office behind the net. They'll walk it down less than 10. Here's Schmerman, tries to bounce it off the back of Adams. Doesn't go for the Warriors draft pick, and now Carter Albrecht with it. 2 to shoot, he launches it on goal, well, just wide of the goal. And that's how we'll finish the first period. Inside the Jubilee Recreation Center, the St. Albert Crude are leading the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels by a score of 3-2. We'll step aside and come back with period number 2, live from Fort Saskatchewan. Fort Saskatchewan Rebels lacrosse is brought to you all season long by Sports Interaction, the best place to bet on sports in Canada. Get a first deposit match bonus of up to $500. If you go to sportsinteraction.com/rebels. Support free lacrosse broadcast in the RMLL by going to sportsinteraction.com/rebels. Refs ready. Ball's down, second period underway inside the Jubilee Recreation Center. 9:12 local time in Fort Saskatchewan. Here's Ethan Peterson off the draw. Penalty costs the Rebels their first or second goal against the game, but now he draws a power play for Fort Saskatchewan just 9 seconds in. Regan Walker and Jackson Cohunt with the goals for Fort Saskatchewan. Joma had 2 for the Crude, and Will Drader with the shorty has St. Albert up by 1 in the second period. Rebels power play is 1 for 1 on the evening. They had 11 shots in the opening frame. Crude had 19. Porter into the corner. Here's Cohunt. Back for McCallion. Cohunt steps into one. Shot got blocked by Reno. Now he's going to run it up the floor. Ben Reno all by himself. Cohunt's on the back check. McCallion there as well. McCallion got a stick on that on the back check. Huge play by Josh McCallion coming back and just getting stick-on-stick action. So Reno couldn't get a clean shot. Now McCallion's got to settle one down. Backdoor Seth Fairholm with the quick stick. Easy save for Oliver. Now a push by McCallion. Crude bench wants a penalty. Surprise. But it'll be Crude ball. Short-handed, they can need about 30 seconds off. Horlack now. Stripped by Walker. It's on the ground, and Carter Albrecht comes back with it. The Centennial Cup Goon. If there was an award for that, Carter Albrecht might take it. Big hit against Estevan. Some might claim it is dirty. Some might claim it's an old-school hockey play. But Carter Albrecht back in the lineup for the Rebels, and we love to see it, playing with his brother, Grayson Albrecht. Fort Saskatchewan still on the power play as Jack Reynolds serves as minor. Cohunt's pass for Fairholm wasn't close to him. Now Baker spin move, runs into Porter. No look pass for McCallion, ends up hitting him in the gut. And it bounces down for Cale Harris. The face-off specialist finds Will Drader having himself a night. Will Drader. Now some rough stuff behind the play as Porter gets run over by Harris. Ref and coach having a few words. Fort Saskatchewan bench not happy. Crude parents aren't happy. Welcome to a Friday night in the JRC. Cohunt holds. We're back to even strength. Porter walks and fires. Wedman now whips it up the floor from his own zone as Porter goes for a dive. Maybe not a dive, maybe a little bit of a slide, and Fonchuk bobbles the pass, turned over. Fraser Barrett up the floor. In transition, breakaway attempt for Lewis. Bounces it wide. Rebels gonna have to come down with this. Nathan LaFrance. Lopez all over him. Ref will call loose ball. Gives Fort Saskatchewan possession. Fraser Barrett, you know he wants to go in transition. I think he might have one in him this evening, the way that he's trying to push the pace. Baker now gets a pick from Porter. He's got to be careful with that cross-check pick. Porter's shot got kicked out by Oliver. Now Cohunt's getting into it. Pass over to McCallion. Playing that bottom righty position. Swim move to the middle. Stripped of the ball by Fry. Now on the back check, Porter's got it. Fraser Barrett's out in front. Fraser Barrett, foot in the crease. Got to be, well, you got to know where you are there. And Fraser Barrett doesn't even give himself a chance out in front of the goal as he comes down from that hop with a foot in the crease. Joma dances a bit on the left-hand side. Dahl's shot. Off target and in transition. Here goes Carter McAdam on a break. McAdam fires and he tests out the logo of Reese Oliver. Darren Barre's squad starting to play in transition a little bit more. I like the looks. The finish clearly not there as they've got 2 goals in the first 24 minutes of this contest. Now Matthew Vetch with a chance. Carter Albrecht too. They're tripping all over each other. It's like a middle school dance party. Vetch now takes a stick up high. Out of the corner, Albrecht has it. 15 on the shot clock. Peterson was backdoor. He thought about the quick stick. Cohunt controls 8 on the shot clock. Rebels not exactly playing 6 on 5. Cohunt's shot ends up hitting Lewis out in front. Fort Saskatchewan going back to the power play where they're 1 for 2 this evening. Jackson Cohunt with Baker and Porter on his right-hand side. McCallion and Fairholm are the 2 righties on the floor. Here's Baker now, short side shot, he scores! Tied up at 3. Jackson Baker finds the back of the net on the power play. Baker had 18 points coming into tonight's tilt against the Crude. Well, he's got his first goal of the game, and it's a big one. We're tied at 3. Rice Schmerman now tries the one-arm dish. Might have seen Mark Matthews do it a few times. Zayden Blake, right side of the floor. Pass out front, Schmerman was there. Joma as well, he gets picked off. Here's Matthew Vetch, one-on-one with Fry. Vetch as Blake got back as well. Wise play by the Crude. Let their defense get set. Now Baker gets his glove slashed off his hand. No call coming. They've already had 2 power plays this period. Oliver with the stop on Fairholm. Now up the floor. Blake's got to keep a quick swivel on his head as Nathan LaFrance was going for the big hit. Zaxton Blake pops it behind the net for Fry, and he throws this one 200 feet down unless he was trying to play give and go with Reese Oliver. Slobodnik has it, long shot, ended up getting blocked by Carter Albrecht. Now Albrecht ends up throwing this one away. Peterson trying to chase it down. Oliver can't get it either, but Reynaud waits in the far corner for it. Dahl out the O-gate. And another errant pass is going to go back into Crude territory. Oliver's got to come out for it. Vetch tries to lay ahead. He almost was able to force a free ball there. That ends up on the ground. Dangerous opportunity, but Oliver, you're not going to knock him down. And now this one's behind Adams. Post off the back of the legs. Nonetheless, it doesn't hit the net. Porter takes a couple of whacks, drives the net, finds some room. Up high, Oliver takes away the top of the net. Ref didn't like the way Slobodnik ran into Cohunt, and they'll give Fort Saskatchewan possession again. McCallion, one-on-one game hasn't been too effective for him with Dees Wanka defending. Cohunt for McCallion, gets a little bit of a pick by Lewis. Ref blows us down, and here go the Crude back the other way in transition. Tate Wedman off the benches. Joma oversteps the ball, and here go the Rebels back the other way. It's Carter Albrecht on a break. Carter Albrecht, couple of fakes, shot sticks side. Doesn't hit the target. Crude playing jackpot. Jack Raynaud calls his own number. Bryce Schmerman's up top. 38 points for him in this 2022 Junior B campaign for the NLL's Vancouver Warrior draft pick. Now it's Mitchell Adams. Almost turned that one over as Schmerman was waiting for it. Not a play you love to see if you're the coach, but nonetheless, no harm, no foul, and Fraser Barrett's breaking ankles. Pass over to Jackson Baker. 10 to fire. Porter on the fadeaway. Fraser Barrett gets knocked to the ground. McCallion with it. Barrett has a couple of words with the refs. Nonetheless, he's going to have to play defense. Joma near side. Perfect pass out in front, and they score. I believe that's Nash Knowlton out there. Catch and release, 4-3 Crude. Nash Knowlton with the goal, his 5th point of the season. It's a big one for St. Albert. Gets them involved in this period a little bit, and they're up by 1 again. Ethan Peterson has to avoid the crease. Back for Kohut. The lefty now. Trying to go 1-on-3 once again, and the Crude know that. If he's going to cut to the middle, send bodies towards him because they're forcing turnovers that way. Barrett has it. One to dump, and he'll put it right in the stick of Oliver. Joma's on hat-trick watch. 2 in the first period. Little cut to the middle. Joma, he can shoot from distance. He's got that low shot, that sub shot that can find corners. Now Mitch Adams has to go left to right to make the save on Austin Dahl. Rebels have numbers if they want, and Fairholm gets the pass behind him. Little too cheeky by LaFrance. Now it's Peterson's shot. Had some room on the stick side. Adams for Lewis. Strike 1, strike 2. He gets it the 3rd time. They didn't get a shot clock reset, I believe, and they gave it to him. So that's why the refs were counting it down. A little hard to hear from our broadcast location inside the JRC. Fonchuk left side, bouncer kicked out. Mitchell Adams is your starter for the Rebels tonight. A little bit of a surprise. They don't have LeBlanc, and Jordan Peck will back him up. I say it's a surprise as he hasn't played all game. He's been playing phenomenal this evening. No reason he shouldn't be getting another start this season the way he's performing out here. Lewis now comes down with the numbers. Lewis, pass over to Porter. Takes too long. Jackson Porter, if he quick sticks that, we're tied at 4 instead. Reese Oliver has an extra second to get over to his left side and take away any chance that Jackson Porter might have had. Bryce Schmerman now. Manhandled in the corner by Carter Albrecht. Pass over to Barrett again. The Rebels have numbers if they wanted to go with a little bit of speed. Now it's backdoor. Kohut, quick stick, scores. Jackson Kohut finds the back of the net for his second of the game, and we're tied at 4. Jackson Kohut's got a pair, and we're tied at 4 in the JRC. Dahl's out looking for the response. 5-hole attempt. Adams. Good stick positioning, doesn't give him an inch. McAdam finds that loose ball. Backs it up, hands for McCallion. Back from college, playing his second game of the season with the Rebels. Peterson, round the top, little bit of room. Ethan Peterson now. Fastest chest in the league. Reese Oliver's got another on the Crude logo. Vodchuk drives and he scores, but not before he steps in the crease. A little bit of a faster change this time for the Crude. They learned their lesson on the past 2 opportunities. Again, right before the Kohut goal, the Rebels had a chance. And Porter, instead of quick sticking it, took that second to catch as Josh McCallion unloads a heavy shot, gives Fort Saskatchewan their first lead of the game with 7:11 to go in period number 2. Josh McCallion's got his 5th of the season, and here they go again. It's Peterson back for Porter. Couple of fakes, and he's peeling paint off the crossbar. Jackson Porter, a perfect move. The finish, not quite perfect. Baker right side. 20 on the shot clock. Has Fraser Barrett. He'll stay and play a little bit of offense. Lewis comes down with it. Jackson Baker's up top. Runs right into the fire. Up top, Lewis back pedal. Right in the chest of goaltender Reese Oliver, and he's got his 21st stump of a Friday evening in Fort Saskatchewan. Schmerman off the bench. Out front, and it's Wedman to score. We're tied at 5. The long change hurts the Rebels on this one. And it's Tate Wedman. Gets it right off the bench, and now a hard hit by Reynold as Vetch didn't have the ball. There's no league that isn't interference in, but I guess the refs decide tonight that's a legal play. Dahl on the right side. Long shot by Zayden Blake finds the back of the net, and it's 6-5 for the Crude. An obvious missed call by the refs, and St. Albert takes advantage of their free possession to make it a 6-5 game. In transition, back the other way, and Adams has to go left to right this time. Now they're going to call a push on Porter, I believe it is. I think they're going to call it a double minor, too. They'll call it a hit from behind on Porter. Ooh. Power play, well, 2 of them upcoming for the Crude, as the refs decide that's worth 4 minutes in the sin bin. Dahl for Horlak. They'll play give and go on the left side. Joma's up top. Fonchuk and Schmerman are the lefties on the floor. Schmerman behind the net. They love the triple pass option with Schmerman setting up behind the net, and they're trying to hit Fonchuk up top. Adams with the save, spinning around, gets a second on Schmerman. Now an outside look, Adams. Kicks it to the corner, and Fraser Barrett's got to turn on the burners. McCallion up the middle. Has to be aware of Bennett Fry on his tail. McCallion walks around Fry towards the goal. It's off of Oliver and out of play. The ref signaled for a tip, and then he's pointing towards the Crude way. Maybe he meant no tip when he did that signal. You guys know as well as I do, but it'll be Crude possession. 2:52 left to go on their power play. 6-5. St. Albert leads. Joma for Fonchuk. Schmerman's on the right side as well. Back to Fonchuk. Here's Dahl, and he'll take that shot. Adams absorbs, and he controls it for Barrett. Here's McAdam. Pass was a little in front of him. Fonchuk's on the back check. Oliver grabs it off the backboards. I don't mind that attempt where you are killing off a double minor. So if you got a chance at a breakaway, sometimes you got to take risks, and you're only down by 1 right now. Here's Joma. Low to low shot. Adams with the save. Dangerous rebound out in front. He's got a second. Schmerman now. Gillespie's all over him. Fonchuk for Joma. Back for Schmerman. Pass up top. Dahl's shot got blocked. Stretch for Albrecht. He's got Peterson 2-on-1. Carter Albrecht now. Pass over to Peterson. Sights aren't quite set after hockey season as Albrecht gets dumped to the ground. In transition. Fry with the dump off. Wedman was standing there, and now the track meet continues. Matthew Vench has a breakaway. Vench on Oliver, and he stopped it just wide. It went over his shoulder. Put a couple extra miles on, bouncing around the gear of Reese Oliver, and now Wedman's going to step in the crease. That's what speed can do for you, and Matthew Vench put it in 5th gear. Went on a breakaway. He beat Oliver, but the ball just rolls wide of the goal. Fairholm controls, and they can eat about 25 seconds. Off the penalty to Jackson Porter. Cohunt backs it up. Inside cut, low bouncer goes off Oliver and tests out the length stance. So Fort Saskatchewan will get a fresh 30 to eat away at. Sure you guys could hear that command by Darren Bray. wants Cohunt to use the whole shot clock, and that's what it looks like he'll do. He's got Baker, Fairholm, and McCallion out on the floor as well. Porter's free in 20 seconds. Baker now cuts down low, finds himself behind the net, out of real estate, 3 to shoot, got blocked, and it goes off Wedman and out of play. You couldn't draw that one up any better if you're Jackson Baker, but now he throws one away for McCallion. Porter's out of the box, home free. Rebels kill off a double minor. McCallion now looking for 2. That shot goes wide and it bounces into the ceiling. Fairholm's got to get back, trying to chase down Will Drader. Has a goal already in this game. Drader for Knowlton. Tied this thing up at 5 earlier in the period. Knowlton did. Blake from distance. Looked like a replay of his 6th goal of the game. Lewis with it. You got to assume the Rebels try to get something on goal quick, and Oliver doesn't quite know where it is. Spinning around, ref wasn't going to blow it down as it was stuck in Oliver's gear, and he just throws it with his glove. Crude could get a quick shot off here if they wanted, but instead I think they're going to try to use the rest of the 20 seconds they've got. Blake's on the wrong side of the highway. Joma up top. Albrecht pushes them and runs them into the boards. Pass back for Schmerman. Went off the side of the net where Adams was standing. It's on the ground. Shot clock about to expire, and now it will. Schmerman's shot missed the net by a couple of feet. Rebels have it, and they'll draw up a timeout, so we'll step aside and come back with the finale. 13.5 seconds left to go in the second period on 12-ounce Sports. Rebels Lacrosse is brought to you all season long by Sports Interaction. Support free lacrosse broadcast by going to sportsinteraction.com/rebels and signing up today to bet on sports in Canada. Jackson Porter with the ball up for Cohunt. 7 to shoot. Cohunt's down to Baker. Presses on by the Crude. His pass now for McCallion. 2 to get something on goal. Bounces it into the netting. And Schmerman has it, but with less than a second left. Won't hit the goal anyways, and that's how we'll finish up 40 minutes of play in Fort Saskatchewan. The Rebels trail by 1 against the Crude. Third period coming up next on 12-ounce Sports. Fort Saskatchewan Rebels Lacrosse is brought to you all season long for free because of our great sponsors like Sports Interaction, the best place to bet on sports in Canada. If you want to support free lacrosse broadcasts on 12-ounce sports, go to sportsinteraction.com/rebels. Sign up today, and you can get a first deposit bonus of up to $500. Third period face-off. Ref looks ready. Ball's down, and we are underway. Third period, JRC in transition. Here's Porter on a quick break. Oliver's going to take a look behind him. In the crease, Barrett tried to poke at it. Can't exactly do that with RMLL rules. As Carter Albrecht on defense takes a hard pick. Shot from the outside by Adam Horlak. Got kicked to the corner by goaltender Mitchell Adams. Bouncer out in front. Adams is going to secure it down. 10 saves on 13 shots for Mitchell Adams in period number 2. The Rebels put 16 on goal, and goaltender Reese Oliver stopped 13 for St. Albert. Ref wants the Rebels to start from the crease, and that's where they'll do so. Peterson for Baker in the corner. High pass up for McCallion. That's one of the guys they need to get going here. Cohunt on hat-trick watch. Down for Peterson. Little bobble gets it set. Baker has it. Fairholm now. 5 to shoot right in the pants of goaltender Reese Oliver. Joma's got 2 for the Crude. Cohunt has 2 for the Rebels, and the rest have all been singles throughout the game. No one really taking over. It's kind of anyone's game, and both these teams are missing their best offensive weapons in Reed Lou and Kyle DeZwanka. Now up the floor. LaFrance wants to run it in. Tries to go over the shoulder of Oliver. Not much room, I can tell you that for free. Blake finds Horlak, left side. The righty has McAdam on him. McAdam with the cause turnover. You can chalk him up for that, and Vetch has the loose ball. Josh McCallion now get a pick from Fairholm out in front. Trying to go short side this time on Oliver, but Fairholm gets stopped. Hasn't had too many chances in this game. The Rebels offense a little stagnant at times. That's why they only got 5 goals through the first 43 minutes. Zayden Blake rips one off the defender, and Gillespie wants to run. The Rebels think it's their possession. The Crude think it's theirs. Gillespie dancing around. He wanted that one. They will give it to the Crude. I'll trust you watching on YouTube who can use replay to tell me if that's correct or not. Joma's behind the net. Up top, Fotchuk, plenty of room to shoot, and he's stopped by Adams. Baker in front of the penalty boxes. Cut move around Reynold. Peterson for Barrett. Barrett's pass has Porter out in front, and he kicked the iron. Heads into the netting. So they'll hit the reset on the shot clock. Barrett, little light pass for Peterson, got picked off. And here go the Crude in transition as Zaxton Blake puts one into the left arm of Mitchell Adams. Barrett now for McCallion. Lewis up top. Peterson with a little bouncer, kind of a knuckleball. Almost found its way on net. McCallion now trying to scoop it off the floor, and he scores! Josh McCallion finds the Lucy on the ground, and he tucks it past Reese Oliver. We're tied at 6. Josh McCallion's got his second of the game and 6th of the season to knot us up at half a dozen each. Porter and Lewis get the assists on McCallion's goal. Here's Schmerman now, fires and scores. Bryce Schmerman blasts one past Mitchell Adams, and the Vancouver Warriors draft pick regains the lead for the Crude. Way too much time and space the Rebels give Bryce Schmerman. He'll make you pay like that. Walks into it, tees it up, beats Adams. And St. Albert's up 7-6. Fraser Barrett with the fake. Now it's Porter on the right side. Crundwell knocked the ball free for a second. It's back to McCallion. Josh McCallion out in front, tucks it high over the goal, and it bounces out of play. Joma stuck on two. Here's Schmerman. Low shot goes wide. Rebound grab by Booth, and he's going to fly away. Joshua Booth, backhand dish, had Lewis going down the right-hand side, but he couldn't snag it. Beeswank will chase Lewis up the floor. Here's the other Lewis. It's Riley out in front. Porter's got the loose ball, fired it, and Oliver got a piece. Still hopping around. Cohunt attempted to hit Blake, didn't connect. Lewis now back as Blake's shot tried to pull it short side. Didn't go on goal. And Vetch will get the start from his own side of half. McCallion, 15 on the shot clock. Tries that low cut. Now he spins up top again. Sub shot. Went off something in front. Fired back. All the way down into Fort Saskatchewan territory. Baker has it, and he launches it perfect down the floor. Horlak had a 6-point game on May 1st when these two teams met the first time, and here's Fodchuk around the world, and he scores. Josh Fodchuk. Prettiest goal of the game for sure, and the Crude lead by 2. Joshua Fonchuk goes around the world, beats Mitchell Adams, and he doubles the Crude lead. Violation did get called on the Rebels, so it'll be St. Albert possession. Dahl now cycling up top. Stopped by Adams. Now he'll send a Hail Mary for Porter. Has to pull it down off the half wall, and he can't do so. Sloppy play by the Rebels again. They're lucky because they got 6 on the floor. Got away with one, and here's Bryce Schmerman driving towards the goal. Low shot finds a defender. McAdam for Fairholm. Seth Fairholm now. Cross the body again. The Rebels only have 32 shots in this game, and we're inching up on the 50-minute mark. That's not going to cut it, especially against a goaltender like Reese Oliver, who's got an .803 save percentage this season. Blake now fires and scores. He's got his second of the game as Zayden Blake puts one behind Mitchell Adams. Crude have their biggest lead of the night, as Zayden Blake with 2 makes it a 3-goal game. Mitchell Adams has the loose ball. Horlak still on the ground there. So the refs will blow it down as he walks off the floor. Fort Saskatchewan's going to have to start from their own crease, I'd assume. Jackson Baker will have it at the blue line. Crosses into Crude half, and the Rebels offense, well, 3 goals in 12 minutes isn't an impossible task. The way their offense has been playing, they better pull up their socks soon. Porter down for Fairholm. 15 seconds, he's pushed to the outside. Seth Fairholm now drives and fires. Oliver with the save and rebound, he controls that as well. Pass up for Wedman. Albrecht out of the corner. A lot of miles on him after playing in the Centennial Cup in Estevan. The National Junior A Hockey Championship being held, semifinals. I believe those will be tomorrow. Would have to assume. Flin Flon got knocked out today. The hosts Estevan are done. And a stretch pass up intended for Nathan LaFrance. Goes over his head as well. Joan was up top, penalty getting called. Fonchuk, plenty of room to shoot. Tried the pass back door, Joma with it now. Adams with the save. Now Fraser Barrett having a few words. Might be Bennett Fry in there. Gillespie's going to go off for a slash. Crude power play is 1 for 4 in the game. They had a double minor power play in that second period. They couldn't capitalize, so the Rebels penalty kill gets tested, down by 3. Joma and Dahl to give and go. Back to Dahl, he's out in front. Adams moving to his right, put it in the corner. Backdoor pass intended for Fonchuk. Defenders Albrecht there. Schmerman pass out front. Mitchell Adams has to reset his net, but he got back in time. Baker. Rebels have numbers if they want. Jackson Baker fires. Oliver lost it in his feet, but he spins and he kicks it out. Now Porter got knocked to the ground there. Didn't have possession. Refs don't care. Fonchuk and Schmerman to the lefties. Joma, the fifth O guy on the power play as we cross the 10-minute mark in period number 3. It's Cody Jansen with you on 12-ounce sports. Schmerman up for Joma. Left pad saved by Adams. 45 seconds left on this power play. Joma's got to run up on the bench, and it's going to go all the way down into his own zone. Joma was 7-0 to Fonchuk, whips it wide, and here goes Porter on a break. Jackson Porter, but he boots it ahead. Can't ever control, and it's back to Oliver. They reset the shot clock, though, and Porter never had control of that one. Interesting. Maybe they reset it after the shot that I thought went wide. Horlak back on the floor. Clearly hits Nathan LaFrance without the ball. The refs are going to blow this one down. Peterson's on the right side. Passes it over to McCallion. Rebels trail by 3. Porter. McCallion to Lewis. Pass out in front. Fairholm. Couldn't get that. Now it's going to be a stretch pass. Here's Wedman. Has Fry with him. Knowlton's out as well. McAdams on Knowlton. Hits around him. Can't get past Barrett. Nash Knowlton now for Fonchuk. Trying to go high this time. Adams keeping Fort Saskatchewan in it. Schmerman's way back now. Fonchuk, hard pick by Albrecht. Crude player rolling around out there, and a penalty's coming. Crude coaches think it's worth a 5. Blake appears to be all right. Laid on the ground for a little bit, caught his breath, and appears to be out. I think that tells you what Crude fans think, but what's new? It'll be a 2-minute minor against Carter McAdam. Pardon me, Carter Albrecht. Not McAdam. First name correct, last name wrong. I'll take the -1, but the Rebels have to kill off another minor penalty. Dahl and Joma, the give and go. Fonchuk still with it. Pass got knocked down by Porter. Good positioning by him. Now Joma wants to fire. Adams sidestep to the left, got in the way. Schmerman's got the rebound. Baker and Porter tasked with covering the top on this penalty kill. Out on Horlak, now Joma over to Fonchuk, has some room. Adams might have got it with the stick, and now Porter's got to run down on one. He could have a break if he wants. Jackson Porter. Horlak's all over him, and he scores! Jackson Porter's got his first of the game. It's a shorty, and the lead's down to 2. He had 22 points on the season. Coming in tonight's rematch with the Crude, and he's got a goal there. And now Peterson takes a cross-check right off the head, right in front of the ref, and somehow he decides not to call it. As Vodchuk down low, Schmerman scores right in front of the crease. And now the ref's going to call an unsportsmanlike conduct on Peterson. The Crude have 10, but somehow the refs go and botch that one. On the power play, well, here goes Fraser Barrett, the underway shorthanded. Fraser Barrett, couple of fakes, and he scores. I think that hand to the ear was for the Crude parents giving it to him. And Fraser Barrett back-to-back shorties now for the Rebels. As Porter with one, Barrett with the other. Joma has to let it go from up top. Now it's Dahl in tight. Adams got an arm on it. Porter now takes one off the chops. I can't be the only one seeing this. These are pretty obvious calls getting missed. Here's Jackson Porter now towards the goal. Steps in the crease, and the ref will blow it down. 6 Crude on the floor. Refs don't care. Shocker. That's how the evening's been going here in period number 3. Crude still on the power play. Dahl's up top. Wants to go low the stick side, and it'll bounce down 200 feet. Little lob ends up on Adams. Thought we could have had a Rasmus Anderson, Mike Smith moment. I guess it's not playoffs, but if we do get playoffs between these two teams, well, one of the things I do want to see is a 7-game series. Could watch these two rivals play all year long. Sloppy play by the offense. Ends up turning it over, and the Crude still have 7 seconds left on this power play. We'll see if they use it. It's Knowlton with Fonchuk. Walks into one, and it's over the goal. Knowlton's got the rebound. Adams has it stuck in his gear somewhere. LaFrance wheels in front of the Rebels bench. Goes one-on-one with everyone. Still controls it. Runs himself out of room, though he's behind the goal. Less than 4 minutes to play. Peterson for McCallion, 10 to shoot. Back to Kohut, has Fairholm now. Fairholm lets it go. And Oliver with the save, and they're gonna call Peterson on a slash. Out in front, they'll say it's interference. I'm not even shocked at this point. It's another penalty for the Rebels. I'm sure your jaw's on the ground, but it's another penalty against the Rebels. They trail by 2, and now they're short for 2 or less. Joma and Fodchuk give and go. Garen Schmerman's got a new power play look out there. Blake's playing the top lefty spot, and Bryce Sherman's in the bottom lefty. Fodchuk back for Joma. Ends up hitting Horlak. Gillespie was on him. Now Adams thought about throwing it, and he'll just lower it. Gillespie's there, and he scoops it into the ceiling. Crude are going to be fine to eat up some clock here as they are up by 2. They'll move Joma down low. Fodchuk gets a pick from Blake. Shot comes over from Howardchuk, and he scores. The lead's back up to 3. Another power play goal for the Crude. And, well, it's been penalties who have cost the Rebels in this one. Blake grabs the loose ball off the face-off. Schmerman's up top. Knowlton's pass gets picked off, and here goes Carter McAdam. Wheels around Schmerman. McAdam towards the net. Oliver with the save. Vetch is going to pick up the rebound. Matthew Vetch now towards the goal. Oliver's got another. Horlak now knocked to the ground by McAdam. He wants a call. They've been getting him all game. Vetch gonna run it up. Shot goes off of the stick of Reese Oliver. Mitch Adams has to head back to his goal. Lewis is back there. McCallion now trying to force a turnover. Crude playing some keep away. Pass intended for Knowlton, got poked free, and here goes Lewis. Lewis has Walker up front. Tyson Lewis for Riley Lewis, twin to twin, and he can't put it in. Now Fairholm at 6-on-5. Adams is on the bench. Baker's got it, but the Rebels have to go quick. Pass for Fairholm. Reynaud comes down with it. Now all of a sudden, Nicholas Lopez is throwing cheap shots out there. Couple of words have been exchanged. And now Albrecht has a few words, and I think he's going to get tossed as well. Lopez is there. So Carter Albrecht gets to hit the showers first. Lopez looking to sit in the sin bin. So the Crude took the first penalty, but they're going to give possession to the Crude as well. Not exactly sure the ruling or decision-making process on that one. But it'll be Crude ball. Joma hands up. So it's 4-on-4, but the Rebels have Adams on the bench, so it'll be 5-on-4. Joma back to his own zone. Reynolds there, and they'll just try to play keep away. Porter's on him, and they'll try through a double team that doesn't work on Reynolds. 2-on-2, Joma has it. Joma with the spin. Pass over to Drader. Drader now spin move. One arms it wide. His helmet came undone and he still played. Don't think that's allowed, but can't imagine the refs are going to be calling any equipment violations anytime soon here. Rebels will use their timeout. So we'll step aside and come back with the final 24.4 seconds left of lacrosse at sportsinteraction.com. Rebels Lacrosse coming to you live on 12-Ounce Sports. Rebels will play 5-on-4. Down by 3 with 30 seconds to go. Cohut will draw something up. Baker, fake pick. Now he's got Fairholm out front. Shot got stopped. Rebounds there. Fairholm has it again. Outside look goes wide, and Fairholm can't get it, and he runs over Wedman. Seth Fairholm. Too strong, and the parents are chirping the kids. Welcome to a Crude Rebels rivalry, and St. Albert's going to take the first two this season. 13-12 in the first one, 11-8. This time around, St. Albert victorious on the road to the JRC. Crude outshoot the Rebels 47-43. They put 11 behind Mitchell Adams, and they leave with a win. Huge thanks to Sports Interaction for sponsoring Rebels Lacrosse all season long, keeping it free for you to watch. Be sure, if you want to bet on sports in Canada, go to sportsinteraction.com/rebels and get a first deposit match bonus of up to $500. sportsinteraction.com/rebels. That'll do it for us tonight. Back here tomorrow night with Rebels and Warriors on 12-Ounce Sports.